Hey everyone, Jeff here. I just want to jump online real quick and do a vinyl update. I've been picking up lots of records lately at flea markets, and slowly but surely I've been attacking the giant stack of records I have sitting out. So today I just want to show a couple of those that I've been listening to lately, and this covers a wide variety of genres, so I think there'll be something here for most of the people that watch my channel. So let's just get straight into it. Lots of cool records here. The first one here is Charlie Mingus, of course the jazz bassist. This is I guess a compilation of sorts that was released on the Everest Records Archive of Folk and Jazz Music. Don't really know much about this release, to be honest, but it's Charles Mingus, and I only paid $1 for this at the flea market. There was this guy there, and he was selling lots of jazz and prog albums, just, getting rid of his collection. And he had a lot of stuff that I liked, and I bought quite a bit from him. And this is one of them, so that's what you're going to be listening to in the background. Another record that I got from that same guy is Still Warm by John Scofield. I'm pretty sure that I know this guy for his work with Billy Cobham, but I'm not positive. But anyway, this is an album where he's the band leader, and this is very good 80s fusion music. A lot of 80s fusion is very hit or miss for me, but like Jean-Luc Ponty's stuff in the 80s, this is very good. So I'll definitely recommend this one, and there's some very cool tunes on here. Another cool fusion album that I got lately is I Love the Blues, She Heard My Cry by George Duke. Again, found this for only $1 or $2 at the flea market, and this has been one that I've been looking for forever. I've talked about the CD on this channel before, and this is just one of my favorite fusion albums. Lots of Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention alumni on this album, and it is very, very good fusion. It's got elements of soul in it, it has some blues stuff, some prog stuff. So really, really awesome to finally get a nice copy of this without breaking the bank. So very, very nice album by George Duke. Also found this for $1 at the flea market. I don't know why. Pink Mammoth by Pelican. This came out, I think, in like 2008 or 2009. So it's a relatively new release, and for some reason it's just sitting around with a bunch of other junk. But either way, very, very cool to get this. It's like post-rock, post-metal type stuff, and this is actually my first 10-inch record as well. So, yeah, really nice to get this. It's not something that I'll probably be returning too often, but it's definitely a cool piece to add to my collection. So, very nice to find that. Now, I also recently did a trade, and one of the things that I got in that trade was Live Evil by Miles Davis. This was recorded around the time of Bitches Brew, and to me it sounds pretty similar to that. Some people think that this is a vastly different album. I don't think it's that different, but if you're into that very, very loose, early style of fusion that was pioneered by Miles Davis, I do think you'll like this album a lot. It'll take some more spins to sink in with me. It is very dense if you're not completely paying attention. But definitely cool to add this to my collection. Another one, a slight change of mood here, is the death metal classic Leprosy by Death. This was recently reissued by Relapse Records, and I just had to pick up the reissue. I don't usually buy new vinyl, but Death is one of my favorite bands, and I really wanted to have some Death on vinyl. So a really, really nice reissue. Relapse definitely put a lot of love into this. And, Leprosy, of course, is one of the pioneering early death metal albums. Now, if I do have one criticism, I don't like the way the drums are produced, and I also don't like the way the drums are played for the most part. Bill Andrews, just, compared to like Gene Hoglan, Richard Christie, Sean Reinhart, the future drummers of Death, he just can't keep up with what Chuck wanted to do, I don't think. But either way, this is still a really, really cool album, and definitely an interesting release in terms of the progression of heavy metal music. So I definitely recommend this reissue if you can find a copy for under like 25 bucks, something like that. Very nice reissue. Now I also have a couple albums here. These are not what I usually listen to, but again, they were $1 at the flea market, so I couldn't pass them up. On Avery Island by Neutral Milk Hotel. I'll just be honest, I don't get it. I'll need to spin it a couple more times, but I don't think this is for me entirely. There are some good tunes on here. I think there's one song on side 2 that I really liked, but on the whole, I don't think this is entirely up my alley. And I guess the same can probably be said for this album, High Time by Pitter Pat. It's pretty interesting. It's very experimental, but I don't know. I never felt like it completely got going, got a whole lot of momentum. But again, I have a sense that this is the sort of album that would grow on you. So still, you know, for $1 at a flea market, very cool to get a new release like this. So cool to add that to the collection. Got a few Bo Hanson albums here. Actually, I think these are both of the albums that were released by Bo Hanson. Magician's Hat and Music Inspired by Lord of the Rings. Both of these are Swedish progressive rock, folk type classics that I've just been looking for forever. But I've never been able to find them, you know, in the wild. But these did turn up at a flea market, and I think they were only $2 each. So, like I always say, if you look long enough, you'll eventually find what you're looking for. And in this case, I did. So, on the Charisma label here, very nice to finally get a copy of these two Bo Hanson albums. And I will definitely be spinning those more in the future for sure. A couple more I have left. This was by the same seller that got me the Charles Mingus LP, Sexton by Herbie Hancock. Again, this is only like $2, and this is just a fusion classic. So this has been one, I've been eyeing it up at the record store. I think it was priced at like $11, which is fair. But, you know, I held out and I found it for $2. So, very nice to finally get this. If you're into fusion at all, this is probably something that you already have. But if you don't, this is a very, very classic piece of music by Herbie Hancock. Two more fusion albums here. This is from that same seller, Arc by Chick Corea, Dave Holland, and Barry Atchell. This is on ECM, and this is a very free jazz inspired release, and it's pretty dense. I didn't totally click with me the first time I heard it, but I think this is the sort of thing that over time will probably grow with me a little bit. So very cool to get anything with Chick Corea on it to add to the collection. Also found Venusian Summer by Lenny White, again from the same seller. I actually have never heard any Lenny White solo stuff, but this is really, really good fusion. There are a couple tracks on here that are just on fire. And, you know, some of the players on here are just, I'm trying to see where I can find the lineup here. Larry Coryell, Al Di Meola, you know, who else? There's one, I think Chick Corea plays on here as well. But anyway, just exceptional musicianship and a really, really good fusion album. I don't hear people talk about this very often, but if you find a copy like I did, you know, without breaking the bank, this is a very, very cool album. And last but not least, I have The Book of Invasions, A Celtic Symphony by Horselips. Again, I found this for like $1 or $2 at the flea market, and this is a very, very cool album. Kind of like Jethro Tull in that kind of folk-inspired progressive rock, but definitely different from what Jethro Tull was doing. And if you're into that style of music, I think this is something that will definitely be up your alley. So very, very nice to get a copy of that. And that's all I have to show in today's update. I hope you found it interesting. It was a little bit eclectic, and yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you all next video.